everybody, welcome back to Charismas. My name is Miriam, and today we're going to create that French onion soup I spoke about. It's easy, simple, and very affordable. Let's get started. What you're going to need are onions, the onion soup mix, the mozzarella cheese, the butter, and French bread. With all this here, it was under $15, and it's going to create a meal that could feed 10 people. Depending on how many people you're going to be feeding, you want to go ahead and have enough onions. Now, if I'm only feeding 2 people, if I'm feeding 4 people, I may go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 onions. If you're going to feed more than that, then you go for more onions. It depends on how many onions you're going to put in there and how many people are going to be eating at your table. So I'm going to go with 5 right now. In the kitchen, no one's watching you other than yourself. It's your time to relax. Cooking does not have to be a very strenuous thing. You want to go ahead and make it very relaxed and very enjoyable. So don't be sad if your cutting skills are not perfect. Because once it's in the food, no one's going to see what's outside or what it looked like before. They're going to see what the end product is. So you're going to cut it lengthwise, and then you're going to cut it widthwise. And this is what I want the onions to look like once you're done cutting it. Just like that. And keep going until you have all your onions cut. Now we're going to go ahead and put 2 tablespoons of butter. And just let that melt. Once the butter's melted, you add the onions. Now that the butter is all melted down, we're going to add the onions. Go ahead and mix the onions together and just drench them in that butter, that melted butter. Once all the onions have been coated with the butter, let's go ahead and put the lid on and let them sweat. Occasionally here and there, make sure to check and just keep stirring. And let them keep sweating until you know they have a golden brown look to them. If you'd like to go ahead and use chicken broth, you may do so. Beef broth, whatever broth you have at home, you could do that. Now, if you don't have broth at home and you have water, go ahead and use as many cups of water as you want, depending on how many onions you have in there. I have 5 onions right now, so I'm going to go ahead and put 4 cups of water inside the pot. And this is maybe a little different, but I do this and it ends up tasting fantastic. Those little soups that you get, the ramen noodle soups, they have little packets in there. Now, instead of going ahead and throwing away those packets if you're going to use it or not, use it for a soup. They have fantastic seasoning. This is chicken noodle, so this is going to taste just like chicken broth. With the water, it's going to go ahead and season up that water and give it that chicken broth taste that I'm looking for. Easy and simple and not so much work. I'm going to add crushed pepper now. You may use the pepper that's already crushed. I just happen to really love the taste of crushing the pepper like this. Okay, some sea salt or table salt is fine. About a half a tablespoon of salt. And this is honestly depending on you. I like to use a little bit of sazon in my soups. Not only does it give it a nice color, but It has a nice taste to it. I'm not going to use all of it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say pretty much a half a teaspoon and put the rest away for something else. It'll cook. Mix that around. Oh boy, this smells amazing. Let that simmer and let's get the water inside there. For my 5 onions, I put in 4 cups of water. Mix all that seasoning into that water. And don't forget, always taste your food. That way you have an idea of how much salt you have, if you should add more. Always remember, add less salt because you never want to have people complain that it's too salty. So a little salt goes a long way. Let me taste this. It's perfect, just perfect. Now let me simmer this and put it on low heat. Now the last thing while the soup is almost done, you want to go ahead before the 20 minutes are done, 10 minutes in, add the onion soup. That's going to give it that oniony, perfect taste. More minutes and we'll be done. It's done. Let's turn this off. And let's just go ahead. Look at that. How beautiful it looks. I have the oven on at 350, so I've preheated it. And I'm going to go ahead, and I actually bought this beautiful decorative bowl from the thrift store for $2. It's porcelain. I got a wonderful deal on it. Just washed it up and brought it home. And I use it now for all my soups, especially when I'm going ahead and inviting people over. I want to go ahead and have my table look very decorative and also present a beautiful looking soup in a gorgeous looking bowl. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna gently pour this soup right into the bowl. On top of the French onion soup, you want to always go ahead and put some bread on top of there. It's what they usually do, so I'm going to do the same thing. I actually bought myself a French onion bread, which is fresh. It's very soft. Or you can go ahead and use any kind of sandwich bread that you have in the house. Cook that up in the oven. Make sure it's very crispy, or I mean, not to the point of, burnt, but just brown, golden brown. You put it on top of the onion soup. Or if you want to make things even much more easier, use croutons. They do the same thing. They absorb the same way as normal bread does, and it tastes just as good. But I'm going to go ahead today and use the French bread for my French onion soup. I'm going to spread some butter on the top of the bread and then put them in the oven, and then once they're done, put them into the soup. Once we take out the bread and it sounds very crispy like a crouton, you know it's ready. So there we go. Add them to the soup just like that. Try to fit in all 4 if we can. And if you have to, just break a little piece off and put it right in the middle there. There we go. There we go, perfect. And it's okay if the bread gets soaked. You want it to get soggy. It's what's meant to happen. Let's get the cheese on top of here. And once we have the mozzarella, which you can use any mozzarella, just place on top of there. Just drizzle the cheese on top of the soup. Put as much cheese or as little cheese as you want. It's up to you. Depending on how you want your cheese on top, either you want it golden brown. I just like it where it's very melted. I don't care for the golden brown, but it's up to you how you want it. I think for me it's ready though. It's perfect. Just look at that. Plate this now and just look at that. Oh wow, that's beautiful. Look at all that cheese, all that melted mozzarella. That is gonna hit the spot on a cold, chilly day in the fall or during the winter season. What a perfect comfort soup to just have. Let's drizzle on some of this wonderful broth. And there you go. French onion soup. Nice bite of this. Those onions there. The onions are perfectly softened. Let's take a bite of that cheese. Cheese is gonna be very This is gonna be perfect during those cold winter nights, cold fall nights. It's perfect. It's delicious and it really hits a spot. This is a very simple, easy, under $15 French onion soup. You can't beat that. And when your friends come over to try this, or when your family and the kids have a bite of this wonderful soup, they're gonna think you bought it in a store. That's how good this is. So there you have it, our French onion soup. Not only is it extremely easy to make, it's also very affordable. Make it for your family and friends, and believe me, they're gonna crave more and more. Till next week, for Charismas, I'm Miriam. Bye.